video I'm going to be talking about the structure of atoms. Now, what is an atom? An atom is the smallest part of an element. An element is such as copper, iron, sodium, that still retains the properties of that element. Now, about the structure, atoms, oopsie, I'll just write it in a thicker, so atoms are made up of subatomic particles. Subatomic particles. Now these there are three subatomic particles, you can say, which are included in an atom. So they're protons, they're neutrons, and they're electrons. Now, two of these subatomic particles carry charge, while the remaining one doesn't. A proton carries a positive charge, an electron carries a negative charge, while a neutron doesn't carry any charge. I'll just rewrite that. Now, these two, or the protons and neutrons, they are in the nucleus of an atom. So these two are contained in the nucleus of an atom. Okay. Now the name, or let's draw a diagram to show how these. So let's take an example from the periodic table. Let's take lithium. Let's use it. Okay, so let's take lithium. So lithium is in the periodic table. Let me just draw a nice square. Lithium is represented like this. I'll talk about what these numbers are, but for now I'll just tell you what. So lithium has, or actually let's talk about these numbers first so that you understand. So basically in the periodic table they give you the element like this, and these two numbers represent the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons. The smaller number usually represents the protons. So basically, and it's called the proton number, or it's also called the atomic number. The larger number over here is known as the nucleon number. It is also known as the mass number. Anyway, now let's try finding out how many protons, neutrons, and electrons there are in lithium. So as we know, this is the proton number, and the proton, from its name, it represents the number of protons. So therefore, the number of protons is 3. Now, I didn't tell this to you, but I'll just write it. There's an important note you guys need to know, and that is the number. I'll just write this, or the number of electrons and protons in an element are equal. This is because both of them carry charge, and if they would, if they have to stay the same in order to keep the atom neutral and not have a positive or negative charge. However, it can lose or gain electrons, which forms an ion, which I'll talk about in another video. So anyway, so therefore, using this note, I'll just outline it. Using this note, we then therefore conclude that the number of electrons is also 3. And I think for all of the elements, they have the same number of neutrons and same number of same number of electrons and protons. Now the nucleon number represents the number of protons and neutrons. So therefore, if we have the proton number, we know how many protons there are. The neutrons would therefore be nucleon number minus the proton number, as in the nucleus there are the protons and neutrons only. And in order to find the neutrons, we would therefore subtract 3 from 7. So therefore, the number of neutrons is equal to 4. Now if we wanted to draw this diagram, a diagram of lithium, let's just draw it here. Let's say that this is a proton, let's say this is a neutron, and let's say the small dot is the electron. Electrons are small, relatively smaller than neutrons and protons. So as we said, the protons and neutrons are in the center or in the nucleus. So we said there are 4 neutrons, so we'll draw 4 circles. And we also said that there are 3 protons. 1, 2, 3. Now if the protons and neutrons are in the nucleus, then the electrons are in the shells or orbits that surround it. These are like, this is where the electrons are placed or they move around in. So now why did I draw 3 circles? I'm going to tell you. So as we said, it has it has how many? It has 3 electrons. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. Now why didn't I draw all 3 of them in one circle? This is because that in IGCSE, if you're doing the British curriculum, you need to know that the first orbit or energy level can only take in 2 electrons. The rest can take in 8. So it can be 2, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, but the first one must always be 2. Now this is like basically it is that I'll just write a note that 2 electrons in the first shell, or another name is orbit, energy shell or energy level or orbit. The rest can take in 8. Now that's basically it for atoms. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment.